But we can't dismiss the Denver Broncos, and here's the reason why. Their quarterback, Bo Nix, got hurt right before the AFC Championship game, okay? We know that. So he didn't play in the NFC Championship game. The backup, had that Jarrett Stidham, all right? Got the wife looking like, the wife said all of that. Let's understand this right now, okay? Baltimore ain't the favorites because of Denver with Knicks and the fact that Denver's defense had 68 sacks. They were 4 shot of all-time record by the Bears in 1985, 1984, 1985 when they had 72 sacks. We got to remember that, okay? So they're coming back. But Baltimore's right up there. Make no mistake about it, okay? Now you got to look at Max Crosby.
So that's why he talked about the Denver Broncos. I wanted to isolate that clip because he actually brought up the Denver Broncos. Look at that. Look at that. Talking about the Denver Broncos. I think it is interesting because moves like this with the Baltimore Ravens, which is obviously no doubt a huge move, people aren't talking about it at all really in relation to the Denver Broncos, whether it be that Max Crosby's out of that division, right, and what that potentially could do, as well as the fact that people automatically talk about how the Rams are going to be great again, the Seahawks are going to be great again, the Ravens are now going to be great, the Chiefs are back, the Bills, but it's like every team except for the Denver Broncos. I mean, how many people are really saying with their chest, oh, I think the Denver Broncos are going to be just where they were last year, top team, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, that is not the common take. That is not the take that people are sharing all throughout the offseason, all throughout free agency, and leading up to the draft. Like that has not really been the conversation. So it is interesting to hear Stephen A. kind of just be like, wait a second. Like let's make no mistake about it. The Broncos were right there, and then they had to put in Stidham, etc. So the reality is with the Denver Broncos, when we look at some of these other teams, like the Rams making a big trade, obviously the Ravens making a big trade, I'm trying to think. I feel like there's a couple other trades that are slipping my head right now, but we'll just use those two. Those have been the biggest trades. There's the sense that like this trade is what will get this team over the hump, right? Like let's just use the Rams getting trading for that key defensive player. That was the thing. The offense was great. The coaching is great. Like everything is great, but it's like, the defense was just ever so slightly a liability. Now we got that position filled. Now we are the Super Bowl front runners, right? We are the Super Bowl favorites. Let's go. The reality is for the Denver Broncos, there was no piece. There was no key that it's like if they only trade for this, if they get this in the draft now, they can get over the hump. They were over the hump. They were that Super Bowl team. Again, I'm not going to tell you that I know for a fact that they were going to beat the Seattle Seahawks. I think it would have been a game. I think it would have been an awesome game. It certainly would have been a lot better than whatever the heck we got. I do think at the end of the day, it's not, it's not a wrong argument to say the Seattle Seahawks were the best team in the NFL, right? Because they were an awesome team, awesome defense, awesome offense, great coaching on both sides of the ball. You guys know this. I already said this all throughout the season that both the Seahawks and the Broncos were my two teams. I kept saying they're my babies. They're my two teams, right? And so they both should have been in the Super Bowl, but it's okay. And so I don't know how that offense with the Seattle Seahawks offensively didn't have to do anything. Essentially, all they did was kick field goals. They didn't have to do anything. There was no pressure on them really. I'm not so sure that's what would have happened with the Broncos. And again, that defense for the Seattle Seahawks was awesome. Was legit, was great. It's not to say that Bo Nix and that offense wouldn't have been able to do something. So I'm just it is interesting. It is interesting. So, and now you're going to have a new play caller and seemingly new. Again, offensive coordinators are offensive. Always interesting when you have a true offensive head coach, but now Sean Payton's role, like, I don't know. Could we see a new evolution of this offense? Are we going to see less Sean Payton's fingerprints all over it or not? Or is it still going to be largely Sean Payton, but he's just not the play caller? Like, I don't know exactly how it's going to unfold, honestly. Somewhat confusing to me, or I shouldn't say confusing. It's somewhat unknown to me right now. But if anything, that might be the move, right? That is the Max Crosby trade for the Broncos, that their offense is just going to be fundamentally run differently, that it's going to be a smoother operation, a more experienced operation now as well, just by virtue of just Bo Nix now being in year 3. So there's still moves to be made for the Denver Broncos, but they don't actually even have to make any moves. And yet they should still be right up there with all the other teams that we want to consider contenders. If you want to consider the Ravens a contender, if you want to consider the Seahawks, the Rams, the Bills, any of the other usual suspects, it's like, well, then you better put the Denver Broncos in there. You better put the Denver Broncos in there. And that's not even saying that if they get better, right? If they take a step forward. And I'm really optimistic with just the coaching. We'll say changes, yeah, we'll just say changes. I'm really optimistic. I'm incredibly optimistic. And with Bose's injury, it's like I got no concerns of him feeling good, feeling healthy, feeling ready to get after it, right? Like I got no concerns about like, well, is it going to be a process for him? No. Based on my understanding, it's just like there really shouldn't be any issues, and by the time it's time for him to do like real football stuff, he should be feeling strong and good and going through any of those types of having to retrust your body type of growing pains with an injury. Like he should be able to do that pretty much all spring and summer, right? Really, like by the time he's ready to actually be on the football field, he should that will probably be non-existent. Whereas it will be there for someone who's like tearing their ACL, their meniscus, or anything else more severe. So I'm not even factoring in his injury at all. So hopefully all that just continues to progress well and no issues there. But yeah, it is interesting that a team like the Denver Broncos can be in the AFC Championship game, can almost even win that game even with a backup quarterback, and just a obviously bizarre game, taking down a team like Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And yet the following, going into this season now, people don't it's just like they're not discussed in the way of like, well, that's a real cont, like that's a real team that you're going to have to reckon with. Like it's just more of kind of a throwaway team. So again, shout out to Stephen A for talking about the Denver Broncos for like, what was that, like 34 seconds. But I'm always on the hunt for these types of moments throughout sports shows. I'm always trying to bring the content for the Denver Broncos. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please don't, please do consider subscribing. Please do consider subscribing. I think I was going to say, please don't forget to subscribe. I don't know what I was going to say, but please do subscribe. Yeah, my whole outro just got derailed. So I'll see y'all next time.